Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm Zelp and today's video is probably going to be late. I have to work for the most of the morning and also afternoon, and my internet is still giving me problems. Now I don't really have a direction on what I want to do because all this time, or at least for the most of this week, my plan was to be doing Kurtzspell stuff, but because of the recent update, I just didn't want to play Kurtzspell that much. However, even if I want to, my internet is just not allowing it. So for a short duration, when my internet was still okay, I hopped into Fortnite and just started training. Now, in the last video, I talked a little bit about skill-based games and how that kind of differs between other MMOs that doesn't require much skill, and it's more of a grind in determining how good you are at the game. Over here at the background, you see me playing Fortnite, but I'm actually in a creative map where I created in order to warm up myself for the edits so that I can edit a little bit faster and go through my builds a little bit quicker and hopefully or potentially be at some place that gives me an advantage over an opponent. And when it comes to skill-based games, there's really nothing much that you can do other than practice. So we have to practice a lot. Now the problem is, just like any other grindy type based game, you still need to invest the time into it. But skill-based games, if you do not practice, you lose it. You lose the ability to do what you could have done in the past, unlike certain grindy type games. And today's topic is a little bit on that. Over time, as you're getting older, you may come to a point where you feel like you have to be efficient. You have to make good use of your time because time just doesn't feel like slowing down for you. You feel like you're losing more and more time every single day, and playing games sometimes just doesn't give you the overall accomplishment that you would want to feel. Because at the end of the day, when you zoom out and look at your life and what does a game actually give you, besides a momentary satisfaction, there isn't much. And after playing games for multiple years, you'll also learn that it's hard to stay in one game forever. So you always end up moving on and switching to the next best thing. In my opinion, as a gamer, you shouldn't restrict yourself to one game. So all of a sudden, you might actually get this feeling like you don't want to spend time doing these things because it might not be useful in the future. For example, training a certain skill. Now, for grindy games, you can go through the grind, and at the end of the day, you can play a different game. You can come back, and the things that you grinded, the levels that you gain, will still be there. Now, in Fortnite, you can really feel yourself getting rusty just by not playing for 1 or 2 days. You can see the difference that you were and after. Fortnite is also one of the few games that I find that I need to warm up before a game, just so that I can perform a little bit better. Now, because of internet issues and also that I wasn't free these past few days, I haven't been playing Fortnite for almost a week. Then coming back doing this course again, I find that my time has fallen almost 4 minutes. Now that is a very big gap, to the point where I start thinking like, do I even want to keep training anymore? Because at this point, I can see the amount of grind I need to go through in order to stay, well, sort of like fit. And other games does this too. Other games like, for example, Warframe also makes me feel that sense of, do I want to go through that grind? A newer player might just straight up say, okay, I see where this is going. There's too much work involved in this game. Even though it is fun, I don't want to play it. Because secretly, I feel like all of us have a small part which is a perfectionist, and we want to be at the point where we are the best of the best. And when achieving that just gets too hard and we're no longer sure if we can do it, it just feels so much easier to give up, to stop. Now, if I have to relate this to real life, it's something like a student studying for exam that they are not confident in getting good grades in, and when they see the amount of effort and time they have to put in order to try and achieve that, they might not even want to try at all. And a lot of effort is going to be put into studying a subject that you might not even be using in the future. But in real life, it's just a hardship that you have to go through. And at the end of the day, the chances of it being good for you is a lot higher than just being a waste of time. However, I can't really say that for games, because games are entertainment. So fine, let's stick to the idea that games are entertainment. Should you even stress over games? Should you invest so much time into a game that you might not be playing in the future? And why not we just have fun in the game, despite the competitive aspect or the fact that you have to be the best? And that's where I feel like being the best is fun. Being able to win in a game is fun. And it might be a different kind of fun, but it's also a kind of fun that is worth going for. Because after all, if you want to do something, you might as well do it right? Especially if you like that game. Now here comes another issue. It's the fact that developers know that it's important to give players things to do. Because the moment you ran out of an objective in a game, you kind of also get bored of the game. So there's always a need to have something to grind for. Otherwise, the game might not survive. So more and more games just come up with things for you to do, for you to spend time in. And sometimes to the point where I don't even feel like it's a freedom of choice anymore. It's like the game basically says, do this or stay bad. And sometimes when I identify things like this in a game, it really just makes me don't want to play it, because you'll never know, something might happen. You might not be free on a particular day that they were to give out something really good, and because of that you just fall behind. So what I'm trying to get at is, I would like to know your opinion down in the comments on whatever game it is that you have played or experienced. What do you think is the best kind of achievement a game can give you that's good enough to make you want to keep playing without feeling like the game is forcing you to stay on? I also kind of want you guys to think in the business aspect of it, like can this make money? Will enough people be affected by this technique or whatever? Is it viable long term? And basically things like that. So let me know down in the comments what kind of achievement is the best kind of gaming achievement that you have ever felt, or that you think more games should have instead of something else. And also let me know what other games do you think I should try, because I'm still kind of clueless and don't really have a direction at the moment. That's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.